Brand new rally car, new chassis, new platform, new everything.
And as a normal part of what we do for Subaru, we have to design and build a new car.
This one little car is very, very important.
We will have to make some drastic changes to our car while we're developing a new car for that rule set.
We've had some back and forth with the ARA to try to figure out, is this acceptable, is that acceptable?
We have to design the car to the millimeter. You don't have all those things defined, it creates a chain reaction that slows everything down.
We are not taking 6 months to build the car. We're taking much longer than that.
Just waiting for Lance and Courtney. Oh, here they are. Morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us this morning. So wanted to give you a quick update about the new rally car project. The OEM car has been delivered here. We've started the scanning process, and then we are working on those data. So Bertrand has done a small kind of sketch, a nice one, but a small kind of sketch about how the car could look like.
Probably not totally accurate because we have some new regulation from ARA, but at least it's accurate in terms of width and position of the rear wing, position of the wheel arches.
You have a foundation.
Yes, that's something to start to work on, also for the design office and for all that, but still a lot of things will change.
This being the new chassis, we're really trying to get the engineers something they can look at, get everything they don't need out of the way. So you have the stock Subaru seat brackets, all that's gone. I mean, we don't use any of that, so we just, a nice clean floor.
The biggest difference I've seen is they really made this car stronger than previously. In general, like the frame rails, they're on an angle this time instead of being straight. It has so much support in the floor. It's just a really strong chassis, and I think it's gonna help us a lot.
So this is our jig table. It's an inch thick steel with all of our bolt holes in it. So we have jigs for everything, including the roll cage.
One thing that we're doing this time that we haven't done before is there's actual mounting holes in the jigs for other jigs. So if one jig's off, the rest of them will be off. We believe it's going to be easier because the amount of time that design has put into the jigs, I mean, that slowed them down tremendously because the amount of detail that's gone into the jigs is just insane. And it's nothing like we've ever seen before. And I think once we get used to the jigs and start using them, it'll speed up the process down here a lot.
The most important thing is just getting the cage right, because the cage can't change. We have jigs to set the main hoop, and they have little tick marks on the cage, and that will tell you where each and every part of the cage mounts. Our cages, we get them CNC laser cut and bent, so basically it comes in like a big kit.
So this gusset right here will be bent. It'll pretty much capture this face, and the cage tube will set on top of this and it'll capture it around. So it'll be all locked right into that one corner right there.
Right now, our effort is split in a lot of different directions, and we're trying to deliver on all of those areas. Very successful Gymkhana. We're trying to do other marketing type things, Goodwood.
Then watch Travis Pastrana, this amazing machine with the little wing flaps that pick up.
But rally is our core. It is who we are. If this place was to burn down, if you came back in here, there would be a rally team standing here. The quickest thing that would be up and running would be a rally car. It's our heart, it's what we do.
First time at STPR, not ideal considering the championship battle we're in, but I feel like we've got some good set of notes and the roads look good. Quite a few parts of it that fit my driving style, and I think it should be a pretty good event.
Yeah, all eyes are on Brandon, really. He's leading the championship right now. It's his to win. So Travis is here in a support role with his off at Ojibwe. His championship hopes have come to an end, but he's going to do everything he can to help Brandon. And then we're here to get Brandon to the front.
We did some very nice progresses on a lot of parts on the design. The design is fixed, the print are done, so the parts department start being very loaded about ordering, not receiving yet, but ordering. We have some positive news that it should come on time for us, because at some point there was a dub there. So the supplier has been selected, the order is ongoing, and then we have weekly update with them to make sure that we are on track or we are not on track. But they understand our timeline and are aware. Every time we'll do a step in a direction we think the regulation will go to, we will kind of submit what we are planning on doing to ARA to get the approval and then move from there.
Yeah, ideally we won't spend any money going down the wrong road.
But also based on the timeline, we cannot completely wait for them. So we are trying to push them to get us the information we need to then move forward on the project.
Little, tree out, okay maybe. Slowing over 95, drive, keep 4 left, along, don't go wide. 120. Sorry. It's okay, you're okay? You're okay. I'm okay. You're okay. It's okay? Work. Listen. You're okay. I know, I'm okay.
I think so. Yeah, I don't like we're going to try to pick it out of this precarious hole if you see behind me here. The car's kind of not on the road anymore. The car looks okay. The drivers are okay, most importantly. Just interesting. We got to get it out of here and see what kind of work we have ahead of us. Makes the last round pretty tough here. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so we got the car out of the woods. We're here at this shop we're going to use tonight. You know, ARA are going to come down, they're going to take a look at it with us, and we'll make a call from there.
You were texting, I got pictures of it. Safety-wise, I'll kind of leave the dust control up to you guys to deal with. That's the easiest. But I mean, from a restart standpoint, safety's all we're looking at.
ARA came by and scrutineers had a look at the car to see if the roll cage was fine. It is fine, there's no damage. We will try to make it back to the rally, at least to compete for the power stage points.
I mean, it's a result. It's not the result we wanted. We did what we could last night to get that car back together, to give Brandon that shot at the power stage, and can't thank the guys enough for getting the car back together and even having the opportunity to get those points. So well done to the team, and onward to LSPR.
This past weekend, Brandon just had a big off, so the guys back there are working on that. Basically, the whole corner of the car got taken out. All the sheet metal, the wheel arch, we got to change in 8 pillars. Yeah, it's a lot of action. It's a lot of action. This will take a back seat till that car's done, and basically it's all hands on deck till that car gets done, and then we'll be back on this and all hands on deck to make up time that we've lost on it.
Unfortunately, then it kind of puts certain projects behind and you can't anticipate everything, so we have a schedule for the project and I monitor that and try to keep it on schedule and try to claw back some time when we can. And again, it's kind of like certain things have to happen before other parts of the car, while other pieces could potentially wait a few months or weeks, but if we have time, we'll work on it. And you can get through a certain department with where we think we need to be versus where we are, and just kind of find the opportunities. A car is a more complicated thing than you think.
An update on the situation with ARA. As you know, we are working closely together to get the final regulation release, and at least for us to understand exactly what are the limitations, because we've defined several iterations of aero package. All that has been submitted to ARA, and based on their feedback, that still require us to do some modification. As you can imagine, every modification delay the validation of the aero package, then the fabrication of the mold and the production of the final parts.
This is where you have the most rule change. As you can see on the current rally car, you have a big wing, you have a lot of small aerodynamic device on the front bumper. A lot of these things are now restricted. They don't want anymore all these small aerodynamic appendices that requires a lot of research and a lot of cost to create a bit of performance.
You expect approval soon?
The deadline for them is September, and they are confident, and we are confident that we'll get that on time. And then we'll have to push hard on our side to not get too much delay based on this late decision. The good thing though is that apart from the front, the other area of the car has been approved by ARA. We are moving on those. We just need to finalize the front bumper, let's say.
You know, once the dust settled after the STPR accident, we get the car home and we're in the midst of the 23R build. And then all of a sudden we come home with this wrecked body shell. And there's a time limit, there's a ticker going, trucks are gonna leave for the next event, you got a championship to win. And suddenly it's all hands on deck. Those spare parts that might be sitting on a shelf, it's time to bring them in, cut out the old, put on the new. And that takes a lot of planning, a lot of logistics, a lot of inter-shop, departmental moves to make that happen. So there's a lot involved there, and the guys did a great job.
Three, two, one, go. 150. Leftish over light crest, okay.
The current championship situation is that Ken Block has 4 wins, Brandon Semenuk has 3 wins. So the 2-point margin between Brandon and Ken means that basically it's winner take all at LSPR.
Don't go wide, over finish. And
that's it, mate. Did it.
Oh yeah, we've been pushing, so to finally get the result, it's just unbelievable, so happy.
Absolutely amazing season for Subaru. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Brandon is the best driver in North America right now, and he flat kicks my ass, and I haven't found the speed that he has, so I'd love to see where he can go with it.
This is the final full season of this model of car, and go up against WRC cars, and just to leave it on a high note. It's very gratifying for me and a nice way to go out with this model car.
Yeah, I mean, the car basically sat around most of the summer. We were really just waiting on the cage to be finalized.
It's the middle of January. We have most of our jigs on the car. We're about 3/4 from being complete. We'll take you to the front of the car. So again, in the old video, we talked about the table and the accuracy of the table and how the jigs come up off from the table, and all these jigs are connected together and they have multiple uses.
The turrets, front and rear, they're both critical. It's the first thing to go in the car. That's why the turret towers are so heavy, because they support everything else. Everything's tied to that. I've never heard an actual figure for what they estimate the force is on these turrets, but it's incredible. I mean, everybody's seen the shots of these things. The hard landings they take and the rocks they nail. We've ripped A-arms right off of these cars, and the turrets don't move. Once the turrets are in place, the front and rear, we use those points to set the roll cage. So the first thing is the main hoop. That's the first thing we do. And we like to be able to tack that on the bench, get everything tacked up, test fit it, and then final weld it outside of the car. So these jigs are fairly straightforward. You just slide in, slide out. We've got 4 bolt holes for it and 2 for little machined pins. The sheet metal, this piece lays right on top of this, so it's a perfect fit. There it is. It's also nice because we can use these to confirm the car if it's ever wrecked. If this whole thing got smashed in and we have to gut this and completely replace it, everything goes back in the exact same position.
We've narrowed the car, so we put the cage, shrunk our cage up together. We have a smaller opening, as you can see here in the front of the car, which allows the drivers to sit further back. So we're going for more of our weight towards the back, and we're bringing the back end of the car towards the front. So this jig right here locates our jack tube and sets them to the correct depth, and later on our pin stands will go in there to keep the car up, and so the guys can work on it during service or any maintenance it needs. These guys lately have just been killing it on this car, It's great to work with him. I can give him a task and it's done perfectly, efficiently, fast. There's absolutely zero complaints.
Designing a full car from scratch, it's a massive, massive work.
Supply chain is constantly a consideration for us.
Material cost is going to the roof, lead time is going to the roof.
It's all kind of a domino effect.
A race car is quite simple because we have 1 or 2 customers and only one target is to be very fast.